Welcome to Slaughterhouse Stories. I hope you enjoy the story I have for you tonight.
In the dark.
It was a frosty night, typical for a winter's night in England. John was laying in his bed, staring into the dark beside him, while it slowly ate his fear. John was scared of the dark, even as a child. He always thought, when he closed his eyes and reopened them, something would be there, staring at him. Silly, he thought to himself, trying to remind himself that this couldn't be possible, even if the stories he heard tried to trick his mind to think it's possible. He chuckled to himself and laid on his back, staring at the ceiling. He thought a short trip to the bathroom may help him fall asleep. John sat up slowly, looking around the pitch-black room with his veins filling with fear. He thought to himself sitting there looking at nothing would just make less hours of slumber, so he took a deep sigh and eventually stood up. He paused, again staring into the darkness. The cold air made him have goosebumps all over. It made him feel even worse, but he pushed himself and moved slowly to the door. He was tempted to look back, but he thought this would just scare him to pieces. His fear of darkness making him frustrated, taking his sleep away from him. He just wanted it to go away. At last he was at the door, without any other feeling but achievement. He opened the door slowly. The door creaked and echoed through the hallway. Luckily the hallway had a very dim light on, so it took less time to reach the bathroom. He tippy-toed down the hall to the bathroom. He did this quickly, as the light illuminated his fear of darkness. While he did his business, he heard some sort of fast footsteps running down the hall. His heart jumped right out of his chest, and slowly he looked behind him. John calmed, as nothing was there. He knew it could probably be the people who lived below him. They party on weekends. Without any worry, he walked back down the hallway into his bedroom, but something was odd. His blankets were off his bed, as if they were pushed off. John tried to stay positive and think it could have been him. As he got out of bed fast, he probably kicked his blanket off. He sighed and slowly walked up to it to pick it up, but he heard something from under his bed, some sort of laugh, but it was no normal laugh. It sounded demonic, like it was made backwards. John made a yelp, and without any thinking, jumped into his bed. He grabbed his pillow, holding it tightly, looking to each side of his bed, shivering in fear. How is this possible? This has to be a dream, John shouted to himself, tears streaking from his face. His nightmare had become reality. It was too real for him. Suddenly, the satanic call from under his bed was behind him. Without any thinking, he rushed out of his room, running into his parents' room and slamming the door shut. "Mom, Dad, Jesus Christ, what has happened?" He paused and stared as his body filled with complete misery and complete depression. His mom and dad were tied together with their own intestines, and the devil's pentagram above them, bathed in blood. John fell to his knees with tears streaming uncontrollably down his face, struggling for air. But then his eyes widened when he heard all the sounds around him mute and was replaced by heavy breathing. He slowly looked over his shoulder and saw what had caused this horror. A beast with no nose and no eyes in its sockets. The skin on his body was pale, while the skin sank down to the beast's bones, and fresh blood poured from its mouth. Judging how it got past the closed door, it wasn't a natural being. John let out a muffled scream, and the creature took a powerful strike with its claws. Everything then went black. This has been the 6th murder this month. No one knows who or what is responsible for the killings, and the police and many others are trying to catch or kill whatever it is. Many religious people call this creature
The Night Demon.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed tonight's story, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time,
Stay spooky.